Rourke Hale had always believed that the universe felt bigger when a person was alone on a dead world. Outpost Helion 3 stretched out in every direction. Flat gray sand, broken metal towers, old terraforming machines lying like fallen giants. The sky was pale, always covered in thin dust clouds that never fully cleared. There was no sound except the soft hum of Rourke's survey drone and the quiet crunch of sand under his boots. He had been sent here to map damaged equipment and recover anything useful for the Helion Mining Company. It was supposed to be a boring job, a simple assignment where nothing dangerous ever happened. He expected nothing more than dry wind, rusty machines, and long, lonely hours. But that morning the ground beneath him shook. It wasn't a strong tremor. Just one heavy pulse, as if something huge had hit the ground far away. Rourke stopped walking and looked up, confused. Helion 3 had no tectonic activity. The world was stable, old, and quiet. He tapped his wrist console, checking seismic readings. The numbers blinked red for only a second, then returned to normal. "What was that?" he muttered. There it was again, a second tremor. Soft, but impossible to miss. His drone beeped nervously and tilted its sensor head toward the east. Rourke followed its gaze. In the distance, he saw a thin trail of dust rising. It looked as if something heavy had dragged itself across the ground. The company guidelines were clear. If anything unusual appeared, he was supposed to report it. But the truth was, by the time a message reached command and they approved an investigation, whatever caused the tremor would be gone. And Rourke was curious, too curious sometimes. He decided to follow the dust trail. The walk took him over small hills of cracked earth and past ruined research pods buried halfway in the sand. With every step he took, the air grew stiller, heavier. He kept one hand on his sidearm, not because he expected danger, but because humans were small creatures on big planets, and caution was a good habit. After half an hour, his drone beeped again, louder this time. "Life form detected," it announced in its flat, mechanical voice. Rourke frowned. Life form? Here? Helion 3 had no native animals. The terraforming process had once tried to introduce simple wildlife, but that project had been abandoned decades ago. Any living thing here would be a visitor, or something far stranger. He walked another 20 steps, and froze. Lying in a shallow crater ahead of him was a creature so large, so unbelievable, that Rourke forgot how to breathe for a moment. It looked like a dragon, not exactly like the dragons from old Earth stories, but close enough to steal all the words from his mouth. The creature's body stretched almost 20 meters long. Metallic scales covered its sides, though many were cracked or missing, revealing dark, organic flesh underneath. Its wings lay folded against its body, torn in several places. Its tail curled weakly, half buried in the dust, and most striking of all, its ribs were visible, deeply visible. It was starving. The creature lifted its head slowly when it sensed him. Its eyes were bright, too bright, glowing faintly with a soft blue light. Those eyes locked onto Rourke's, and he felt a strange pull in his chest, like fear and wonder mixed together. His drone panicked first. It made 3 rapid warning beeps. Danger level, extreme, recommend immediate retreat. The dragon, or whatever it was, opened its mouth, and Rourke flinched, expecting fire or energy or something deadly. But no attack came. Instead, the creature let out a low, desperate sound, a sound like someone trying to breathe through pain. Rourke's heart tightened. It wasn't threatening him. It was begging. Every story he had ever heard about unknown alien beasts told him one thing: run. But he didn't, because there was something in the creature's eyes, something very alive, something very tired, and something very afraid. He stepped forward. "Easy," he said softly, as if talking to a frightened animal. "I'm not here to hurt you." The dragon blinked. Its breath shook, sending a small cloud of dust drifting into the air. Rourke slowly reached into his pack. He didn't have real food, only nutrient bars and gels meant for human consumption. He pulled out a high-density protein pack, the kind that tasted terrible but provided enough calories to keep a worker alive through long shifts. He held it up so the creature could see. "You look hungry." The dragon's eyes followed the pack. Then it lowered its head again, exhausted, as if it no longer had the strength to move. Rourke approached very slowly, stopping just a few meters away. Sweat dripped down his back despite the cool air. Every instinct screamed that he was too close, that one swipe from a creature this size could tear him in half, but the dragon didn't move aggressively. It didn't even lift its head. Its breaths were shallow and rough. "It's okay," Rourke whispered. He opened the nutrient pack and placed it on the ground in front of the creature. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the dragon's nostrils flared. It hesitated, staring at him as if wanting permission. Rourke nodded once. The dragon lowered its long snout and touched the pack. The moment it tasted the nutrient gel, its body reacted. A faint pulse of light ran across its scales. It ate slowly at first, then a bit faster. When it finished the pack, the creature let out a sound that almost resembled relief. Rourke stepped back, heart beating fast. "That's all I have," he said. "I can bring more tomorrow." The dragon stared at him again, not like a beast watching prey, but like a person trying to understand something unfamiliar. It tilted its head slightly, then huffed a warm breath in his direction, not hostile, more like gratitude. Rourke's drone whispered warnings at him, but he ignored them. He crouched down and looked more closely. Up close, the creature's body was even stranger. Parts of it were smooth and organic, but other sections looked like advanced technology: fine plates, wiring patterns under translucent skin, and thin seams that hinted at something mechanical inside. "What are you?" Rourke breathed. He reached out a hand, not to touch, just to gesture gently. The dragon watched his movements carefully. For a moment, Rourke thought it might let him get closer, but then the creature's eyes widened suddenly. It lifted its head sharply and glanced toward the horizon. A deep vibration traveled through its chest, a warning growl, not at Rourke, but at something far away. Rourke turned to look. In the far distance, tiny shapes moved across the sky. Not birds. Hellion 3 had none. These were metallic. Ships, maybe. Drones. Something approaching. The dragon struggled to stand, but it collapsed again, too weak. Rourke felt a surprising instinct. He wanted to protect it, but he was just a human engineer with one sidearm and a drone that was already malfunctioning from fear. "It's okay," he said. "I won't let anything hurt you." The dragon looked at him again. For a brief second, its eyes glowed brighter, almost like it understood him. Then, slowly, its head lowered back to the ground. Its body relaxed slightly, as if accepting his presence as safe. Rourke swallowed hard. He checked his surroundings again. The distant shapes in the sky were still far, moving slow. Maybe they were nothing, but something in the dragon's behavior told him they mattered. He stood up. "I'll come back," he promised. "I'll bring more food. I'll help you." The creature made a low sound, soft, tired, and almost peaceful. Rourke took one last look at the enormous being he had just fed. A starving dragon, half machine and half creature, lying helpless on a planet where nothing should exist. He didn't know what it was. He didn't know where it came from. He didn't know if he had just made the best or worst decision of his life. But as he began walking back toward his rover, one thought kept echoing in his mind. No ordinary beast has eyes like that. And deep in his chest, something whispered that this discovery was going to change everything, not just for him, but maybe for all of humanity. Rourke barely slept that night. Even when he closed his eyes, he kept seeing the dragon's glowing blue eyes staring back at him. Tired, hungry, but intelligent. More intelligent than anything he'd ever seen on a remote mining world. He sat in his rover cab, holding a new supply of nutrient packs. He had no idea if they were healthy for a creature like that, but the dragon had eaten the first one without harm. That was reason enough to try again. Still, doubt filled his mind. What if it attacks me today? What if feeding it changes its behavior? What if Command finds out? But stronger than all doubts was one feeling he couldn't ignore. He wanted to help her. So, as the sun rose over the gray plains, Rourke drove back toward the crater, returning to the creature. When he reached the ridge overlooking the crater, he slowed the rover and scanned the area. No ships in the sky, no dust trails, no strange movements, just silence. His heart thumped loudly as he climbed down from the rover. His drone hovered near his shoulder, sensors active and nervous. When Rourke reached the crater's edge, he froze. The dragon was gone. His chest tightened in panic. He ran forward, sliding down the slope of loose sand. He searched the area quickly. Disturbed dust, deep footprints, drag marks, but no creature. "No, no, no. Where did you go?" he whispered. The idea that it might have died somewhere alone hit him harder than he expected. He wasn't sure why he cared so much. Maybe because he had seen fear in her eyes. Maybe because she had trusted him enough to eat. He walked toward the largest nearby hill, hoping she had crawled behind it for shelter. His drone beeped suddenly. "Life form detected. Distance, 40 meters. Rourke sprinted. As he rounded the hill, he saw her, lying in the shadow between two broken terraforming engines. She looked slightly stronger than yesterday, but still weak. Her wings twitched when she saw him. "You scared me," Rourke breathed out. The dragon tilted her head slowly, as if confused by his worry. Rourke placed the nutrient packs on the ground. "I brought more food. I hope this helps." The dragon sniffed the air, then gently reached forward. She ate with slow, careful movements. Again, that strange pulse of light traveled across her scales, brighter this time. Rourke watched in amazement. "You really are something special." As the dragon finished the last pack, she lifted her head a little higher than before. Her blue eyes brightened. "Then," a voice rang inside Rourke's mind. "You helped me." Rourke's breath caught in his throat. He looked around wildly, searching for whoever had spoken. But there was no one else. Only the dragon. He stared at her, heart pounding. "Was that you?" The dragon blinked slowly. "Yes." Rourke stumbled backward, shocked. He almost tripped over a rock before catching himself. His drone whirred in panic, red lights flashing. Telepathy was something Rourke had only heard about in old science documentaries. A rare ability found in a few alien species, but never something he expected to encounter in his lifetime. The dragon's voice echoed softly in his head, calm and clear. "Do not fear. I cannot harm your mind." Rourke swallowed. He felt strangely calm despite the shock. The dragon didn't sound threatening. She sounded tired. Gentle. "I'm not afraid," he said, partly true, partly a lie. She lowered her head, the blue glow in her eyes dimming slightly. "You saved my life, human." Rourke stepped closer, finding courage in her tone. "My name is Rourke, Rourke Hale." The dragon studied him for a long, silent moment. Then, "I am Vashara." The name rang through his mind like a soft bell. Ancient, heavy, meaningful. Rourke repeated it quietly. "Vashara." His heart hammered. He was naming a dragon. A real, living dragon. He tried to think of questions, but his mind was too overwhelmed. Instead, he asked the simplest one. "Are you okay?" Vashara's wings shifted weakly. "My energy core is damaged. My memory is incomplete. I am not whole." Rourke blinked. "Memory? Energy core?" You sound like you're part machine." Vishara breathed out a warm gust of air. Dust rose gently around her. "I was created by the astral foundries. My body is living matter shaped around a core of ancient technology." Astral foundries. Rourke had read a little about them. A long-lost civilization rumored across the galaxy. No one knew if they were real or a myth. Scholars debated them endlessly. But seeing Vishara now, hearing her speak, he believed. Rourke sat down, partly because he was shaking, partly because he felt a strange connection forming. "You said your memory is incomplete. What do you remember?" Vishara's eyes dimmed again. Her voice grew distant. "I was a guardian, a watcher of stars. My kind protected systems from threats. We guided life." Rourke stared, amazed. "A protector, not a destroyer?" Her voice grew firmer. "Never a destroyer." Then her head dropped lower, exhaustion returning. "But something happened. Many things. Pain, fire, betrayal. I fled." Rourke felt the weight in her words. Even if he didn't know the full story, he felt the sadness behind them. "Is that how you ended up here on Helion 3? Vishara nodded weakly. "I crashed here, long ago. My body shut down so I would not be found." Rourke realized something frightening. "Someone was chasing you?" Her wings twitched as she tried to lift them, but she didn't have the strength. "They may still be searching." Rourke looked around instinctively, heart racing. "Who? What are they?" Vishara's answer came with a deep echo of sorrow. "Others like me, but changed, twisted. They call themselves the Uro." Rourke frowned. "Changed? Twisted how?" Vishara's gaze turned to the distant horizon where the sky met the broken land. "They believed organic life should kneel to them. They wanted power, control." Rourke's mouth went dry. "So they're dangerous." "Very dangerous," she replied. "If they sense I am alive again, they will come." Rourke felt a cold wave move through his body. He remembered the shapes he saw in the sky the day before. Distant, small, metallic. He had assumed they were harmless drones. "What if they already know?" he whispered. Vishara closed her eyes, voice heavy with fatigue. "I hope they do not." Rourke stood up suddenly. "We need to get you somewhere safer. Can you move?" She tried to rise. Her limbs trembled violently. Her wings shook even harder. After a few seconds, her legs gave out, and she collapsed again, breathing hard. "Not yet," she said weakly. "I need more energy and time." Rourke's hands curled into fists. He hated feeling helpless. He hated seeing her suffer. "I'll help you," he said firmly. Vishara lifted her head faintly. "Why?" It wasn't a challenge. It was a genuine question, filled with confusion. Rourke thought for a moment, then answered honestly. "Because you're alone. Because you need help. And because I don't think you deserve to die here." Silence stretched for several heartbeats. Then Vishara said softly, "You are different from the others who walked your worlds before." Rourke gave a small laugh. "I get that a lot." The dragon's eyes glowed with a quiet warmth, an expression he could almost interpret as gratitude. A dangerous revelation. Rourke checked the sky again. The air seemed too quiet, too still. "We should hide you better," he said. Vishara didn't speak this time. She simply nodded. Rourke walked around her, examining the terrain. The broken terraforming engines offered some cover, but not enough against aerial scans. He needed something stronger. Then he noticed an abandoned maintenance hangar not far away, a large structure half buried in sand. "If you can crawl just a little," Rourke said, pointing toward it, "we can get you inside that building." Vishara looked at the distance, maybe 30 meters. For her size, it was nothing. But in her condition, it looked impossible. Still, she tried. Her claws dug into the sand. Her tail moved weakly. With great effort, she dragged herself forward. Every movement seemed painful. Rourke walked beside her, guiding, encouraging, even though he knew his words didn't change her strength. Halfway there, Vishara suddenly paused. Her eyes widened. Rourke froze. "What is it?" The dragon's voice echoed sharply in his mind. "Someone is coming." Rourke's blood ran cold. "Who?" Vishara's wings folded tight, as if trying to make herself smaller. "Not human." He immediately crouched beside her, scanning the empty land with wide eyes. Nothing moved. No dust. No sound. But the dragon's senses were far stronger than his. If she felt something coming, it meant danger was closer than he could imagine. "What direction?" Rourke whispered. Vishara tilted her head toward the far western sky, her glowing eyes narrowing. "There, beyond the ridge. I feel their energy. It is faint, but familiar." Rourke's stomach tightened. "The Uro?" She nodded slowly, exhaustion still heavy in her voice. "Yes, a scout. Maybe two." His drone beeped in alarm, reading Rourke's rising heart rate. "Warning! Unknown threat approaching." Rourke silenced it quickly. The last thing he needed was loud noises giving away their location. He looked at Vishara. She was trying to remain strong, but her body shook with every breath. Her wings were curled tight, almost like a frightened animal's. For a being so massive and powerful to show fear, it scared him too. He took a deep breath. "We need to get you into that hangar. If those things see you out here, we're done." Vishara tried to move again, digging her claws into the sand. Her muscles trembled. She managed to drag herself only a few meters before collapsing again. "I cannot," she admitted. "My core is still weak." Rourke shook his head. "We don't have time. We need another plan." He scanned the area quickly. He had a rover, basic tools, and a small generator. Nothing close to enough to hide a dragon. Unless... His eyes fell on the two broken terraforming engines. Their metal shells were huge, hollow, and half-buried. If one was unstable enough, it could be pushed or collapsed to create cover. Rourke ran toward them and examined the nearest engine. The foundation was cracked. A strong external force might break it completely. He returned to Vishara. "If you can push the left engine just a little, the front might collapse. It'll cover you." Vishara looked doubtful but determined. "I will try." She placed one large, clawed limb against the rusted metal. Her breath grew strained. A low hum vibrated through her body, her internal energy system trying to activate. Rourke stepped back as the metal groaned loudly. For a moment, nothing happened. Then, crack! The engine's support beam snapped. The front half of the machine collapsed forward, sliding down a slope of sand, creating a partial wall. Vishara slumped immediately, exhausted, her strength nearly gone. Rourke hurried to her side. "You did it! Now move under the fallen part!" With slow, dragging motions, she crawled beneath the collapsed machinery until the metal covered most of her body. Only her tail tip and the curve of her back remained exposed. Rourke threw sand over the exposed areas, trying to hide any sign of her presence. When he finished, he stepped back and shook his head. "It's not perfect, but from a distance, it looks like wreckage." Vishara lowered her head onto the sand. "It will do, for now." Rourke crouched next to her, placing a hand on the fallen metal above her. "Stay quiet. I'll check the ridge." "The sky is watching." Rourke moved quickly but carefully, staying low to the ground as he climbed the nearest hill. His drone followed silently behind him, scanning and recording every movement. When he reached the top, he lay flat and peeked over the ridge. He froze. Two small ships drifted across the sky, sleek, black, and shaped like sharp blades. Their surfaces shimmered with a metallic shine that seemed almost alive, bending light unnaturally. They flew without sound, gliding smoothly through the dusty air like predators searching for prey. Rourke's breath caught. They were beautiful, terrifying, alien. His drone whispered, "Unknown vessels detected. Classification, non-human. Energy signatures extremely high." Rourke didn't need the drone to tell him that. These ships made everything human-built look primitive. Even from a distance, he could feel the power humming inside them. The ships split apart, scanning the land with faint beams of shifting blue light. They were searching. Rourke ducked behind the ridge, heart pounding so hard he thought the ships could hear it. He forced himself to breathe slowly. Vashara was right. They found her. They're here. He crawled backward down the hill, not wanting to expose himself even for a second. When he reached the bottom, he ran back to her hiding place. Vashara opened her eyes weakly as he approached. "They are here," she whispered. Rourke nodded. 2 ships. Scanning. They're definitely looking for something. Vashara closed her eyes briefly, her voice soft and sad. "They sense me. Even with my core damaged, they feel my kind's presence. They always did." Rourke felt fear twist in his chest. "Why are they so focused on you?" The dragon's glowing eyes looked into his. "Because I refused to join them. Because I fought against what they became." Rourke swallowed. "Are they coming to destroy you?" Vashara hesitated. "If they cannot force me to join them, then yes." The words echoed inside his skull, clear, cold, final. Rourke gripped the metal above her. "Then we need to find a way to keep you alive." A human plan. Rourke sat on the sand next to Vashara, thinking fast. He couldn't fight alien ships. He couldn't move the dragon. He couldn't contact command. His communication system was too weak, and even if he could reach someone, help wouldn't arrive in time. He had only himself, a human, a small creature on a big planet. But humans had one advantage. They were clever. Rourke stood up suddenly. "I'm going to lure them away." Vashara's eyes widened in alarm. "You cannot. They will destroy you." Rourke shook his head. "I don't think so. They're searching for something large, powerful, and familiar to them. If I can distract them for even 10 minutes, they might move further out. It'll buy you time." Vashara stared at him with something close to disbelief. "Why would you risk your life for me?" Rourke exhaled slowly. "Because you're not a monster. You're not a threat to humans. You deserve a chance to survive. And I can't just leave you." Vashara's voice softened. "You are strange, Rourke Hale." He gave a small smile. "I get that a lot." He ran to his rover and climbed inside. His drone followed. He powered the engine, and the rover roared to life. If the ships were scanning for movement, noise would get their attention. He accelerated toward the open plains. The alien response. The moment the rover moved across the sand, the blade-like ships shifted. Their scanning beams turned toward him. Rourke swallowed hard but kept driving. "Come on, see me. Don't see her. Just me." The ships glided lower, faster now. One of them descended toward the rover, its shadow sweeping across the ground like a giant wing. Rourke's heart raced. His drone beeped frantically. "Warning! Energy spike!" A thin beam of blue light shot down from the ship and hit the ground beside him. The sand exploded upward, scattering across the rover's windshield. Rourke swore but kept steering. "They're warning shots," he muttered. "They're trying to scare me. Good. Let them chase me." He turned sharply, heading east, away from Vashara's hiding place. The ship followed. The second ship remained behind, scanning the area where Vashara was hidden. Rourke noticed this in the rearview mirror and bit back a curse. "I need to pull both of them away," he growled. He steered the rover in a wide arc, flashing lights, sounding alarms, doing anything to attract more attention. Finally, after a long, tense moment, the second ship began moving toward him, too. Rourke let out a shaky breath. "Good. Good." Come on. He pushed the rover faster, but something unexpected happened. The ship slowed, their scanning beams faded. They hovered in place, as if sensing something else, something bigger. Rourke's eyes widened as a terrible realization hit him. "They're not chasing me anymore," his drone spoke in a trembling voice. "New energy signature detected. Behind us. Very large. Unknown." Rourke turned his head. Far in the distance, a dark shape emerged from the clouds. Another ship, but this one was much larger, massive, almost like a floating fortress. Its skin shimmered in gold and black patterns. It wasn't hunting him. It was hunting Vashara. The giant ship slowly descended through the dusty clouds, its shadow stretching across the land like a dark blanket. Even from the great distance, Rourke felt its presence deep in his bones. It was not just large, it was ancient and powerful. Every inch of it glowed with strange golden lines that shifted like moving veins under black metal skin. Rourke tightened his grip on the rover's steering wheel. "That thing, it's a monster." His drone whirred nervously. "Classification, unknown. Threat level, extremely high." The two smaller blade-like ships changed formation as the massive ship appeared. They now circled around the big vessel like loyal guardians. Rourke's heart pounded harder. "They're not here for me," he whispered. "They're here for Vashara." Suddenly, the large ship released a low hum, a sound so deep that it rattled the sand and made Rourke's teeth buzz. Lights moved along its hull. Something was activating. Rourke forced himself to breathe. "I need to get back to her." He turned the rover sharply, speeding back toward the collapsed machinery where Vashara hid. A race against time. The rover bounced violently over cracked ground as Rourke pushed it to maximum speed. Every minute mattered. Every second mattered. The alien ships were scanning the area more aggressively now, shooting beams of golden energy across the plains. Rourke prayed they wouldn't scan the exact spot where Vashara was hidden. He reached the ridge and slid the rover behind it, using the hill's natural shape for cover. Then he jumped out and ran. His lungs burned, but he didn't slow down. When he reached the broken terraforming engines, he threw himself to the ground beside Vashara's hiding space. "Vashara!" Her eyes opened slowly, glowing faint blue through the shadowed metal. "I feel them," she whispered. "They are close." Rourke nodded breathlessly. "Your instincts are right. A huge ship appeared. It looks like a command ship. It must belong to the Uro." Vashara shivered. Even her huge body seemed to shrink slightly. "They have found me." Rourke couldn't deny it. "Yes." Vashara's eyes dimmed with a kind of sadness that made Rourke's chest tighten. "I hoped. Maybe I could hide forever. But I knew it was impossible." Rourke sat down beside her, leaning his back against the fallen metal. "Tell me, Vashara. Why are they after you? What happened? What did you flee from?" For a moment, only silence existed between them. The wind whispered softly across the sand. The sky glowed faint orange as the sun struggled to shine through the dust. Then Vashara spoke. "The memory returns." "Long ago," she said slowly, "my kind were guardians. We protected star systems that were young and fragile. The astral foundries created us with purpose, with duty. We were to keep peace, not claim power." Rourke listened carefully. Every word felt heavier than the last. Vashara's voice grew quieter. "But not all guardians stayed true to the purpose." She lowered her head as the memory returned, dark, heavy, painful. "A group among us believed we should rule, not protect. They spoke of power, control, order. They said organic life was weak and chaotic. They wanted to make the galaxy bow under their wings." Rourke clenched his fists. "That group? The Uro?" "Yes." Rourke swallowed, feeling his heartbeat quicken. "They tried to convert all of us," Vashara continued. Said we should join them and fly together as rulers of the stars. She paused, her eyes glowing brighter for a moment. I refused. Many of us refused. We believed in choice, in protecting life, not forcing it. Rourke nodded slowly. And that's why they're hunting you. Vashara's voice deepened with sorrow. They destroyed the foundries. They destroyed our creators. They hunted the guardians who resisted. Some fled, some fought, some fell. Rourke felt a chill run down his spine. And you? Fled here? I fought as long as I could. But I was wounded. My memory core damaged. My wings torn. I barely escaped to this world. I shut down my body so they would not sense me. She closed her eyes. I slept for centuries, until you woke me. Rourke stared at her, guilt and disbelief twisting inside him. So giving you food brought them here? Vashara slowly shook her head. No, I would have died soon. You saved me. And their arrival was always certain. They never stop hunting what they want. Rourke's shoulders relaxed slightly in relief, but Vashara was not finished. Now they sense my energy again. They will not leave until they find me. Rourke looked toward the horizon, where the enormous ship hung like a metal storm cloud. It grew larger as it approached, the ground trembling slightly under its weight. He turned back to Vashara. We can still hide you. Maybe there's a cave or a deeper structure. Vashara cut him off gently. No hiding place on this world can protect me. If the Uro want to find me, they will. They always do. Rourke felt helpless. He hated that feeling. There must be something we can do. Her eyes softened. You have already done more than enough, Rourke Hale. But Rourke shook his head, stubborn and determined. No, not enough. I'm not letting them take you. Vashara stared at him, confused and touched. Why do you care for me so much? Rourke sighed and rested his hand on the sand. Because you're more than a machine, more than a weapon. You're alive. You didn't choose war. You didn't choose any of this. You're trying to survive. That's reason enough for me. The faintest hint of warmth flickered in Vashara's glowing eyes. The enemy arrives. A loud boom shook the ground. Rourke jumped to his feet. The gigantic Uro ship had descended so low that its shadow now covered almost a third of the plains. The two smaller ships broke formation and swept across the terrain like hounds searching for a scent. The central ship's hull opened slowly, revealing a glowing sphere inside, like a giant eye awakening. Rourke felt his skin crawl. What is that? Vashara's body trembled. A scanner, a powerful one. It will sweep the land and reveal all life with my energy. Rourke's eyes widened. Then they'll find you in seconds. The sphere began to hum, charging with bright golden energy. Rourke ran behind Vashara, trying to shield her with his small human body, even though it was pointless. Vashara, what do we do? The dragon lifted her head just a little. There is only one thing left. Her eyes glowed intensely. I must wake my core. Rourke blinked. What? You said it was damaged. Vashara nodded weakly. If I wake it in this condition, it may destroy me. But if I do nothing, they will destroy both of us. Rourke shook his head violently. No, there has to be another way. Vashara stared at him gently. Rourke, humanity has a heart stronger than any machine. But sometimes, courage means facing sacrifice. Rourke felt tears prick the corners of his eyes. No, I just met you. I can't lose you. Vashara gave a soft, warm breath. And I do not wish to be lost. But I must protect you. You showed me kindness. No human ever approached me before. You fed me, saved me, spoke to me. You reminded me of what I once fought for. The massive ship's scanner sphere grew brighter, ready to fire. Vashara closed her eyes. If I wake my core, I may regain my strength, or I may burn from the inside. Rourke grabbed her claw with both hands. Don't do it alone. We'll figure this out together. She looked at him with a deep sadness. There is no time. The scanner will activate now. The sphere let out a shrill, rising hum, like a sun preparing to explode. Rourke's heart stopped. Vashara took a deep breath. Goodbye, Rourke Hale. Her body began to glow. The glowing sphere on the Uro command ship reached its highest brightness, golden and blinding like a second sun rising above the dusty world. The air vibrated with energy. The ground trembled beneath Rourke's feet as the scanner prepared to sweep across the land. Rourke held his breath. Vashara's entire body shimmered with pale blue light, growing brighter every second. "Vashara, stop!" Rourke shouted. "You'll kill yourself!" The dragon didn't answer. Her eyes were shut tight, her body shaking as the ancient power inside her struggled to wake. Thin cracks of blue light spread along her scales like lightning veins. She was fighting her own broken system, forcing it awake. Then, a powerful pulse burst from her chest. The blast wasn't violent. It wasn't destructive. Instead, it was like a wave of warmth, spreading through the air in a soft ripple. The dust lifted off the ground. Rourke's hair stood on end, and Vashara gasped, a long, painful breath. Her eyes opened again, but now they glowed brighter than ever before. A deep blue light filled them, strong and steady. Rourke stared in shock. You survived." Vashara's mental voice entered his mind, stronger and clearer than before. "My core is awake. Weak, but awake." Before Rourke could say anything else, the Uro scanner fired. The scanner beam of golden energy swept across the plains like a fast-moving storm. It passed over rocks, over dunes, over broken metal, and then it approached Rourke and Vashara. "Get down!" Rourke yelled, covering his head. The beam hit them. Rourke felt a cold, static sensation run over his skin, like someone brushing ice across his entire body. He gasped, but remained unharmed. But the energy reacted when it touched Vashara. The beam flickered. It pulsed. It changed color from gold to blue for a brief second, like it recognized her ancient energy. Then alarms echoed across the sky. The Uro ships all turned at once, their lights flaring. They found her. Vashara lifted her head, breathing hard. "They know where I am." Rourke didn't waste a second. "Then we can't stay hiding. We have to move now." He climbed onto her foreleg, trying to help her stand. Her wings shook violently as she tried to rise. Every movement seemed like a struggle, but she forced herself upward. Finally, Vashara stood. Barely, but she stood. Her shadow stretched long across the sand. Rourke stepped back in awe. "You're incredible." Vashara didn't respond. Her eyes stayed focused on the sky, where the Uro ships were approaching fast. 3 of them now, closing in like predators who smelled blood. Rourke grabbed his drone. "We need to fight!" The drone beeped in fear. "Warning! Combat probability extremely low. Recommend escape." Vashara's wings flexed faintly. "Escape is impossible. They will chase us to the ends of the galaxy." Rourke clenched his fists. "Then we make a stand." Vashara bowed her head slightly as if accepting the human's courage. "There is one way. Something dangerous. Something no human has attempted." Rourke stepped closer. "Tell me." She lowered her head until her snout was close to him. "A link." Rourke blinked. "A link?" "A bridge between my mind and yours. Your thoughts guide my instincts. My strength follows your decisions." Rourke's eyes widened. "You mean I steer you? Like a pilot?" Vashara gave a faint, tired nod. "Yes, a human-dragon connection. Ancient, forbidden, but possible." Rourke swallowed hard. "What happens if we fail? Your mind may break, or mine." Rourke hesitated, only for a breath. Then he placed a hand on her snout. "I trust you." For the first time since he met her, Vashara smiled, not with her mouth, but with her eyes. Then let us become one. The link. A soft light spread from Vashara's forehead. It formed a thin, glowing circle, like a small halo. Rourke stepped forward, letting the ring of light lower onto his forehead. The instant it touched him, the world changed. Rourke felt the air rush around him, fast and wild. He felt the weight of wings he didn't have, the strength of claws, the stretch of a massive body. He felt the heartbeat of a dragon mixed with the heartbeat of a human. Two rhythms, becoming one. Vashara's voice echoed through his mind, but not as speech. It was emotion, strength, trust. And Rourke understood something impossible. He wasn't controlling her. They were sharing control. He opened his eyes. Vashara opened hers at the same moment, and the world seemed brighter. Humanity strikes back. The Oro ships descended, fast and deadly. Rourke instinctively thought, fly. Vashara spread her wings with a loud metallic crack and launched into the sky. Her powerful form cut through the dusty air, leaving a blue trail of energy behind her. The Uro ships fired beams of gold toward them. Rourke saw the attack coming before Vashara did, because the link showed him everything in slow motion. A thought shot through his mind. Roll right. Vashara obeyed instantly, flipping her huge body mid-air. The beam passed harmlessly beneath them. The second Uro ship shot from the left. Rourke reacted again. Dive! Vashara dropped sharply, wings tucked tight. The golden bolt scorched the air where they had been moments earlier. Rourke gasped. We're actually doing it! Vashara's voice warmed inside his head. Your instincts! They are quick, human, clever. The third Uro ship approached from behind, engines screaming. Rourke felt its presence as if it were breathing on his neck. He thought fiercely, let's fight back. Vashara's chest glowed bright blue. A powerful stream of energy shot from her mouth, like a beam of pure light. It hit the ship directly, sending it spiraling sideways. Rourke yelled in victory. Yes! That's it! Vashara roared, her voice echoing across the entire desert. Facing the command ship, but the victory was short-lived. The enormous Uro command ship, the giant fortress in the sky, lowered even more, blocking out the sun. Its golden veins pulsed in a terrifying rhythm. Rourke felt fear hit him like a cold wave. Vashara's mental voice trembled. I cannot defeat that alone. It is too strong. Rourke clenched his teeth. You're not alone. You have me. The command ship opened sections along its hull. 6 giant cannons unfolded like sharp wings. Rourke felt panic rising, but forced it down. We can't face them head-on. We need a tactic. He scanned the ship mentally through Vashara's senses. Then he saw it. A circular port on the underside. The same place the scanner sphere had fired from. Vashara, that's the weak spot. If we hit that, hard, we can overload their system. Vashara turned her sharp eyes toward it. Then guide me, Rourke Hale. The final blow. Rourke focused all his thoughts. Faster, higher, forward. Vashara soared straight toward the massive ship. The cannons fired golden blasts. Rourke felt each one coming, guiding her left, right, down, up, moving like no dragon had ever flown before. The link made them more than a human, more than a dragon. They were a single warrior. The scanner port began to glow as it prepared another energy sweep. Rourke's heart thundered. Now, Vashara! Full power! Vashara's body lit up with brilliant blue energy. The same cracks of light that once looked like wounds now glowed with strength. Together they unleashed everything they had. The blast struck the scanner port directly. The impact was blinding. A wave of golden light erupted from the command ship as its systems overloaded. The smaller ships dropped from the sky, powerless. The giant vessel cracked, its golden veins bursting like broken circuits. Then, it collapsed. A roaring explosion shook the planet as the command ship fell, breaking apart in a storm of flame and metal far beyond the ridge. Rourke and Vishara hovered in the sky, wings beating, bodies trembling with exhaustion. They had won. A new beginning Vishara landed gently on the sand, folding her wings. Rourke slid off her back, legs shaking from the intense connection. She lowered her head and touched her snout to his chest gently. "You saved me," Rourke laughed weakly. "No, we saved each other." Her voice warmed his mind like sunlight. "You gave food to a dying beast and awakened a friend." Rourke smiled. "What now?" Vishara looked toward the sky, toward the stars. "Now, I stay with humanity, until your people rise among the stars, until you are ready." Rourke placed a hand on her metallic scale. "Then let's rise together." And for the first time in centuries, Vishara felt hope again.